So in today's video, I am sharing with you some of my fastest selling items. The sheep. We are starting off the video with the Dollar General sheep. I still have quite a few in my stash. And I've actually just been putting them in my booth. And within the week of them being there, they have sold. So let's make this one over. There's so many options of making this cute planner over. I don't know if they're still there this year or if it's last year's stock. I have found a few when I've stopped at random Dollar Generals, but like I said, I don't know if it's new old stock from last year or they're getting it back in for this year. So I know one way I have not tried, this one's missing its little stopper, but we're going to be putting some fakes in there anyway. I have not tried any of the milk paint crackle on one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to seal this all in because I really do think shellac is what helps my paint crackle because I don't really want it to chip down to that. That's not so pretty. It's like a challenge, Dollar General, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple coats of shellac on here to help the milk paint bond. Okay, for my sheep, I'm going to go ahead and do flour sack. I'm trying for some crackling, not chippiness, if I can help it. That's why I put the 2 coats of shellac on there. I know that I have not used milk paint on one of the sheep yet. So 3 scoops. If you're not using milk paint, is a powder that you mix with water. This is just room temperature tap water. Then you just mix it all together, stirring for about 2 minutes, making sure you get all the powder incorporated, scraping your sides, scraping up your bottom. And then after that 2 minutes, sit it off to the side and let it thicken up a little bit before using it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use a smaller brush because I've got a lot of details to get into with all those little legs. Lots of little legs. And for being a Dollar General plastic resin planter, it's got a ton of detail. I think that's what makes these makeovers on it so exciting because of the detail. Yep, that's a lot of legs. A little chorus line going on here. Might as well get the tough areas done first, right? Well, I guess the heads and all the little ears are just as tough. It's all good. Okay, my one side is almost got through its first coat. Who would have thought the booties would have been the easiest? Oh, some beautiful, and it's only our first coat. So I'm going to be moving on to the second coat. And the nice thing, you just get it on. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't even know if I can tell you how much I am loving on that crackle. The darkness of this coming through is just amazing. Oh my goodness, it's just amazing. I'm actually surprised how much chippiness I got off this resin piece. So I'm going to go ahead and seal it in. I'm going to use some polyacrylic, which is probably a little bit stronger than what the Weather Defense is. Because I really, when I wear, I don't want that to come off. I didn't want that much to come off. Some antiquing wax. See what that does. Like I said, I filled them in with polyacrylic. They did some beautiful crackling. These little guys behaved themselves quite nice. Oh yeah, that's what it needs. Maybe I have done milk paint on them. I don't know. Now I'm kind of having a flashback of waxing them. Y'all done that? Like, oh, I haven't done that. And then you're in the process of doing something. You're like, maybe I have. Oh, I love it. And there's no sense of being gentle. If it's going to come off, it might as well come off while you're doing it, not when somebody buys it. I always like to sell these with some kind of greenery in it. So I'm just using some of the Dollar Tree floral foam, and it just happens that one package, all 4 of these little cubes just happen to fit in here. To cover up the floral foam, I'm going to be using this green. It is shredded paper. I think it's just a nice way to hide the floral foam before adding the greenery. The greenery is just some candle rings. I buy them off of CWI Gifts, which is a wholesale company, but they're like the perfect little fit for the sheep planter. Now, I don't have any hairpins. If I did, I would use them, but I do have pieces of metal that I'm going to fold over like a hairpin to attach it into the floral foam. Broken down watering can. These are always kind of missing their spouts. This one has its handle. The last one I made over didn't have its handle, and I filled it up with some yummy tulips. So why tulips are just getting ready to start popping their little heads here in Michigan, this is a perfect time to do this. Plus, we've got some paint staining. I don't know, did they sell them for $1.49? I don't know why they always were writing on them. So let's see how much this has been in my stash with my other, yes, I collect watering cans, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get it wiped down. I'm not going to worry about trying to get that paint off. It's been there probably longer than I know. But we're just going to get that layer of dust that is probably collected sitting up on one of my shelves of my galvanized watering can collection, which I upgrade. So when I find one with a spout, I'm like, okay, well then I can make this one over or do something with it. That's the fun of this being a collector, is you're always kind of searching and upgrading. So I do want to give it a chippy look, but I want paint to stick where paint's going to stick. Sometimes metal doesn't absorb in paint. It's just kind of laying there. So I am going to seal it in with a couple coats of shellac. Okay, time to get a mix, and I'm going to mix up just a fun color. I'm going to use basil. We're doing the watering can this time. Basil in a pickle. And then 1 scoop of pantry door. Okay, my paint has thickened up a little bit, but I'm looking to get some like chippiness off, like this has been out in the weather. So I'm going to use some of Sweet Pickins beeswax, and I'm just going to apply it on. And it's funny because you'll think, oh, I'm not getting anything on, but you are. I've made that mistake plenty of times. Whatever it lands on is what it lands on. And I think I'm going to paint that handle. Oh, I didn't even see this number 6 up here. Like I said, I may change my mind on the handle. I may just leave that out. That might be a nice detail. But I'm going in with a fan brush because I can control a little better. Especially when you're trying to go around object, details of it. It looks like this goes all the way down, so I will be going all the way down. The item kind of tells you where your stopping point and stuff should be, so And every paint can's made just a little bit different. And it's funny because when you use the wax, you think, oh my gosh, it's separating. I didn't get enough on. Well, that's the wax. So it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I like to get nice thin coats, especially when I'm looking for crackling and crazing. Oh, this is going to have chippiness with the wax. If I'm talented enough to leave that rounded part out, like where the metal folds over. Okay, on to our second coat here. More separation than there is chippiness, but I think once I get that second coat on, it's going to make a difference. Well, I'm not going to touch anything. I can tell that that's where the wax was. I'm going to go ahead and seal this in first with some weather defense. Okay, talk about going way back. I was looking for my classic pots. I thought I had the newer version, but I still have the older version, y'all. I remember it's been a while since they came in tubes. But I wanted to do a little something on the side, especially since it has that. So I think I'm going to cut the one that has to do with roses out. You just never know what we might have. So I just wanted a little something. So I think I'm just, I think I'm just going to center it like that. And then we'll see what comes off. I sealed it, so I don't care if it chips off because I want this to look old and, So still works the same other than that it's just old stock. I do know you can get the newer version and it comes in like colors and stuff, so. I swear I had it. I'm sure that I do, and I'll find it when I'm not looking for it, right? Isn't that how that works? Like, gosh, there it is. I was looking for that, but it's all good. I had something to put on there. But just keep waiting. So see, it'll be a little something on there. Okay, so true to form of having it chippiness is some of it didn't come off, but that is okay. So now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start rubbing. Whatever comes off, comes off. It's supposed to look old and worn. I have some aging wax, so we'll just start rubbing and see what comes off. Or it may not come off. The weather defense might have stuck it on there pretty good, but I need to seal my transfer in, and I need to make this look like it's more worn than it is. Like I probably got scared of the wax and didn't put enough on. It's okay. It still looks good. So I have some tulips I'm going to put in here. I'm going to fill it in with some floral foam. I think that's good. And then I had to decide which colors I wanted. I think red would be really pretty, or I might just mix them. So just like you picked them out of your own garden. Just filled it with water to hold them in there. So. People cannot get enough of cubbies someplace too. display their collections, and this is so super cute, especially with that little arch. Though it has a hanging system on the back that I'm going to go ahead and take off. If somebody wants to hang it, they can put one back on. I'm just going to have it so it's sitting. If you have a retail booth, you know that space is wall space of hanging stuff is valuable. Okay, so you can see we have some type of a damage on it. Doesn't matter. I'm going to sand it a little bit anyway. Okay, so we have some big nail holes, and on both sides there's some major cracking going on. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those in using some Bondo. A little bit is character, but I don't know. I just structurally maybe it needs. I don't think it's going to fall apart or anything like that, but and I like a little as character. But so Bondo is a putty that you mix with a hardener. As you see, little dab will do ya because it works really fast. This is what I use as my wood filler because 5-10 minutes, I'm already sanding my project. It's funny, I didn't really notice those until I started sanding. I guess this has a big crack going down maybe they use cracked wood, I don't know. It has a big crack going right there too. I told you it does not take long for this stuff to harden up. Okay, I think we got most of the holes filled. Whatever's left is just going to be character if I missed anything. I've got raw wood, I've got Bondo, so I want to make sure that everything sticks. So I'm going to go ahead and seal it in with some shellac spray. So for my little cubby, I'm going to try I think it's blue Kent. It's one of the new that Jamie Ray Vintage came out with the Bespoke collection. I have not tried it yet, so I'm curious what type of blue it's going to look like. So this is just a little sample bag. It's nice that you can kind of get a sample bag to see if you like it or not before committing to the big bag. I'm going to go in with some of the Sweet Pickins beeswax. Told you I can't help it. I like it. I like that chippiness that it creates. Okay, good thing I like cubbies, or the inside is not always the easiest to do. Long handled, it's got a little bit of the angle on it, so that's definitely helpful. Okay, and the biggest thing is not to have a ton of paint on your brush because it's going to, of course, fall down and pool in those corners, and I don't have enough of the Bondo here and there to worry about if it chips off where the Bondo is. I got it really sanded down this time. Okay, just set it off to the side and let it dry. Okay, second coat, I already did the inside because you can't really see me doing the inside. I could switch to a different brush, but why dirty another one that I'm just going to have to clean? La di la. Oh, goodness. Okay, so that did what it was supposed to do. I'm going to spray seal it in first before sanding it to give it the chippiness. That way I'm not taking all the paint off. Okay, time to see what comes off. It could be scary. the sander in there, so I'm just going to take the sandpaper off and go in there and see what comes off. I think I was really calm with my wax this time. That's okay. I'm going to go in with some aging wax. Let's see what it does. There is some crackling and some crazing in there along with the chippiness. I think I want to pump it up a notch with some Jolie's black wax. I'm liking it, but I think I could, I don't know. I just want a little bit more. You know when you know. It didn't have enough age to me. I think that I like that better. Addition to. We're speaking about risers. Candlestick, wood round, pair, wonderful. If I had a cloche, one of those cheese cloches would fit on here perfectly. I don't have one. I'm using them. The only one I have in my stash right now are my own Decor. But that would be a perfect matchup for this. These have been sitting in my stash for a little while, just waiting for the right pair to pair together. And we've got it now. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe them off. I don't necessarily, it looks like it was a Hallmark candle holder. I'm not going to, I want to paint it, and that's just going to get in my way. Okay, so I should just be able to hammer with the thing that would hold a candle. Yes, taking the felt off. If you're trying to make something look old, they would not have a felt Hallmark on there. So I sanded this just a little bit to help grab the glue. This is just Type Bond Quick and Thick. Which side do I like the best? Doesn't matter because I'm going to be, so just going to eyeball center. Oop. Okay, well, we got the Type Bond out anyway, so we'll just, apparently that was not one continuous piece. So we'll just Type Bond that back together. So yep, I'm just going to go ahead and get it clamped. It's going to clamp it anyway, so I'll just clamp those pieces together. It didn't glue quite even, so we're painting it anyway, so. Okay, so it ended up being a little bit neater than I was expecting, but that's okay. It's on there. It's good on there. I got it sealed. I sanded those edges down that didn't match up completely because they broke off, but it makes it look older, I think. So we're going to go ahead and seal this in also with some shellac. Okay, so for the sweet little riser that I'm hoping to find a cheese cloche for, I'm going to do Cheshire. I know, y'all. Greens, but it's been selling. I've got pink, I've got purple, I've got yellow, I have blue that are just sitting in my booth, but green is what's selling right now. So, and nice and chippy. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of like maybe in the pickle to Cheshire. and see what that looks like. So 1 scoop, 2 scoops. Can't help but like to play with it's like playing with your food. Play with my paints. So I'm gonna do that because I want to brighten it up just a little bit. That's a basil, but they all turn different once they dry. Maybe should have done a half of in the pickle, but we're already here now, so. Okay, I'm going to see how much of this I can do all at once by lifting it up on the hockey puck. So I'll turn this over. Get as much of the surface. That's going to be hard once I set it down. Okay. Oh, I do not regret now. At first I thought, oh my gosh, I put too much in the pickle in there, but I don't think I did. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. Now I have to go back in the videos and watch some of my concoctions I make up because I can't tell you that I write them all down. I should, right? But okay, I think we're going to get some amazing crazing on there. But not so much on the bottom. Maybe with the second coat, but okay. I'm going to go ahead and mist a little bit so my brush slides and glides along. Restirred up my concoction. That is amazing. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So I have to seal it in first. Oh, I just love how this one crackled. But to bring out the crackles even more, I am going to use some of the aging wax. So if it's sealed in, it's not going to change that color other than just kind of get into those little cracks and crevices. So see how it just got right in there and just made those pop. Can you guess with these items what I'm going to be making? Yes, those risers that we have been creating with pallet wood. There again, we put them in a week or so later, they have sold. So I do have some of these little legs that I have in my stash. These are from Lowe's, I believe. And you have to buy, I think it's a 2-pack that you buy. So there's those. And I have a little bit of my metal from my folk art crafter left. So I think I can still, I think it's that metal, that kind of like, well, metal, pallet wood, and cute little feet, finials as feet. So I picked out 3 pieces of pallet wood. If y'all don't know, Chris works for a pallet company. Not that we get it free, by the way. We can buy a pallet full of pallet wood. Bonus, though he has to buy this. And we bought a pallet full of pallet wood, but is that it's already disassembled, so we don't have to take it apart. So I'm just trying to find the flattest area to cut. I think that's long enough. So I need to cut out a little bit extra because I need these to go across to brace them. I have them all cut now, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a sand because they are They're always very, very raw in texture. The screws that came with these, as you can see, they'll be much too long because I'm only screwing it into the bottom of this for right now. Undo the screws. Okay, so I'm just going to be like measuring like how far in I want these to be. Now it makes sense, right? So we have some legs that are on there. Now we just have to wait for that glue to cure before glue's dry, and I'm going to go ahead and paint them up with some gypsy green. I thought that would be fun. My last pair I think I did white. My first pair I think I did aviary. So I don't feel like I need to seal the wood in since I'm painting it, so we're just going to paint away. The biggest thing is making sure that your legs are on there. The nice thing about DIY paint is you can dry it with a heat source. So I'm just going to take my heat gun to dry it so I can get onto the second coat. Now that they're dry, I'm just going to mist it down with just some water. That'll just help my next coat just glide on a little bit better. Okay, so I promise once I get a new jar of antiquing wax from Waverly from Walmart, I will make up a new concoction and share it with you. So this is antiquing wax, Waverly antiquing wax, which is brownish red. And then I put the Waverly ink paint in with it. So it's like 2 scoops of antiquing wax and a little quarter, if even that, of the heavily pigmented ink chalk by Waverly, but I'm going to be like staining my board. Because I sanded them, that kind of changes that patina. And then I can do this before, I can do it before or after, but I like to, if I have the opportunity, I like to do it before. So that's what they look like. Now I just have to let them dry. Okay, time to put my riser together, and like I love the nail holes. So that's what I'm going to. And I know one was a slightly different, but I think they all look the same now. Okay, so now I want to figure out like how far in. I think an inch would be perfect. So I'm going to fold that over. We're going to go ahead and staple it down tight. I'm going to go ahead and, because this is going to stick up, okay, I'm going to do some more quick and thick. I'm using a little bit of the patina on the staples so they're not noticeable. The Dixie Bells. I'm going to go in with my sprays, but I'm not going to spray them. I'm going to dip a brush. I'm going to dip a brush in there. And I'm going to go in a little bit with the blue. Try not to drip onto my. I say that and then I still do it. Oh, shoot. So, got some beautiful patina, great rust on there. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to spray it with some weather. I'm going to spray it with some weather defense to seal it all in. So my final little touch is some fine grit steel wool, because when I spray the clear coat on here, it will raise the grain of the wood, and make it feel all rough, and we don't want it to feel rough. Just have to go very carefully around the metal, and that'll just lay that back down. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Yes, these are some of my best sellers. So I needed to get some more in the booth. So I hope you enjoyed today's content. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.